Hey everybody, it is Nicole. So today we are going to be making one of my family's favorite dishes, and that is spam musubi, or here we call it musubi, which is the same thing as sushi, and soba, which is a buckwheat noodle, and the way I serve it, you can serve the noodles either hot or cold. And whenever we have this dish, it's a very basic dish, or meal, I should say. I serve the noodles cold. And so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna show you how I put the spam musubi together. And FYI, my musubis don't normally look like this. I normally have like what it's usually made out of, like plexiglass, and a form that will make it into a rectangle. But when we moved into this place, it like magically went into the moving black hole, and so I don't have one. So we're gonna just make one freeform, and it's gonna be very messy and not look pretty, but the whole point is does it taste good? And I can tell you that yes, it tastes good, because when I told my youngest that that's what we are having for dinner, he did yes motion. And so what I have already done in preparation, because I don't want this video to be like epically long, is I have already sliced up the spam and I have fried them, and then I've already cooked the rice. I cooked 2.5 cups of cal roast rice. So that's the sticky rice that is normally used for sushi, and nothing will be added to it, so it's just the rice. And then I have taken what is normally larger squares of the dried seaweed, and I have cut them in half, so they are now in rectangles that look like this. And then I am currently boiling, getting some water going in a big stock pot so that I can cook the noodles. And then I will, and then I'm going to be serving all of that with some medium firm tofu. So hold on one second, I will be right back. So I already diced up the tofu, and yes, it is sitting in some water. I will, so if there is, and I don't know if anybody else does this, this is how I was taught. If you don't eat all of the tofu, because I buy tofu that is in water. I don't buy tofu that's in a box. It comes in a plastic container and it sits in water. So if we don't eat all this tofu, and say we're gonna have it for another night, I will then put this tofu into a Tupperware container or a resealable container, and put the leftover tofu in it, and then fill fresh water from the tap into the container, enough so that the water covers the tofu, because otherwise the tofu will dry out. So I went ahead and I cubed up the tofu, and it will be served with shoyu or soy sauce. So here we call it shoyu, so you might call it soy sauce, and that's all. So our meal will be the spam musubi. Everybody will dish out whatever portion they want of the soba or buckwheat noodles, which it will be served cold, and will be served with a dipping sauce, which is this is the brand that I like, the Kikkoman soba tsuyu, which is the dipping sauce. And let me just double check if I need to add, because some of them, okay, so this one says that it is ready to use, because sometimes you can buy it where it's like this, where it's ready to use. Other times it's where it's a concentrate, and you will measure out a certain amount of the dipping sauce, and then you will add water to it so that you can dip your noodles into the sauce when you're eating it. Or if you choose to, you can just eat it, just the noodles by itself. So it's completely up to you how you want to have it. And like I said, you can always, they do serve soba hot in many, many different ways. So for in Japan, the way we're having it for the soba, it's called zaru soba. So that is cold soba, and like I said, all it is the noodles. So this is what I just normally just get, whatever they have in stock. There's no particular brand that I buy. So this is what it looks dry. It looks like dried spaghetti noodles, only it's made with buckwheat. And I'll probably, this has 3 packets, some have 4. And then what I'll do is I will probably cook 2 of these rolls here, and then it has the instructions. So on the back here, it in English it says add noodles to plenty of boiling water and cook for about 4 to 5 minutes on high heat or until noodles reach the desired tenderness. So recommended amount of water for boiling. So 1 bundle is about 1.5 quarts. 2 bundles is 3 quarts, and 2 bundles is 3 quarts, and then 3 bundles is 4 quarts. And then you drain, and then you rinse the noodles with cold water until cool, and then you drain it well. And then so what I do is after I have drained the noodles, and you know the noodles are cold, you can, if you want to make them really cold, you can add ice to the noodles when you are rinsing the noodles after they have been cooked, so that they are extremely cold. But that's, you know, your preference. And then this is the Spam that I got. They have like all kinds of flavors of Spam. I will buy either this is just the original Spam, or the low sodium. And so usually I have 1 to 2 cans of Spam. This is my last can of Spam that I had in my pantry, so I'm gonna have to buy a couple more. So because here in Hawaii, I'm not sure if any of you know, but Hawaii was initially introduced as a part of the military, part of, like, I think their MREs, because it's a canned product, so it kept for a very long time, and it was brought back with them to the islands. And I don't know if any of you know this, but on Oahu, we have every single branch of the military, and so we, you know, it's the Marines, the Army, the Air Force, the Navy, they have all the bases here. And so, and of course, that's neither here nor there. But the thing is that Hawaii is the #1 consumer of Spam. We have Spam Jam every year. I know we didn't have Spam Jam during COVID lockdown. I don't know if they have since revived it. But essentially what it is in Waikiki, they shut down Kalakaua Avenue, which is one of the main drags. And then they have this big, like, street festival. So that's what this video is going to be about. So just to introduce myself, my name is Nicole. This is my channel. This is a new thing for me, so hopefully this is a new segment of bringing a little bit of cooking, which is something that I really enjoy as well. because we do yarn stuff, yarn hauls, mystery boxes, which I love. That's my other favorite thing. I do resin pours, live stream resin pouring, and then we also talk about tough stuff like mental health, self-care, chronic illness, chronic pain, and how they all tie together. And then also about how art therapy, like crocheting, knitting, and then, you know, the resin, and then of course now cooking. So because I like to cook, I figured, why not? I know a couple of you have asked to see like some of the things that we like to eat here, so this is one of the things that is super popular. Spam musubi can be found pretty much anywhere there is food that is sold. So I'm talking like grocery stores, convenience stores, 7-Elevens and all that stuff. Yeah, they've got them. The local grocery stores in like the hot cases, you can get a spam musubi as a quick snack. And they're prepared in every single possible way you could think of, kimchi flavored. They have some of them where they're breaded and the spam is deep fried. There's teriyaki sauce, some of them are plain. And so we love spam in Hawaii, and we love spam so much in Hawaii that also with McDonald's, they also have it on their menu. So I don't know if you have ever heard of McDonald's big breakfast. So their big breakfast platters have where you get spam, rice, and eggs. I'm not sure if it comes with a biscuit, but you do get spam, and you also can get the regular normal ones as well. But yes, we do have a spam big breakfast platter. So I'm gonna pause right now. I'm gonna put the tofu back in the refrigerator, and then we're gonna get to making the spam musubis. Okay, we are back. So like I said, I'm going to do 2 bundles of the buckwheat noodles or the soba. So I'll show you what they look like dry before I dump them into the water. So this is what they look like, and it's got this little it's like paper wrapped around the bundle. So I'm gonna undo it, and then I'm going to go behind the camera here, and I'm gonna dump them in the water. That was 1. And then here's number 2. Okay, so I am going to turn you around, and so excuse, we're gonna do it this way. I'm gonna pause. I'm gonna show you what the soba noodles look like in the water as I stir it around, and then pause it again, bring you back so that we can get working on the spam musubis. I'll make a couple because there's no sense in me making like the whole thing that I'm planning on making for my family, because I've got 2 boys and they are going to eat a lot. So it'll end up making the video entirely too long. So I will be right back, and then you can see what the noodles look like in the water. Okay, so it looks like the camera is going. So this is the noodles inside of the water. And I am going to use my pasta spoon here. I was looking for chopsticks, but I can't find my chopsticks. So it doesn't take long for the noodles to cook, just like with regular like Italian pasta. I mean, so this is what it looks like, partially cooked. And the buckwheat noodles are very good for you. My husband loves them. The kids love them. It's really, really good. And they're great cold. They're great hot in, you know, like a soup with, I mean, all kinds of toppings. You can do shrimp tempura. You can just do plain. You can put like a egg on it. Tofu. I mean, there are like there are a lot of standard type of soba noodle soup dishes, but this is the way we like to do it. So like another way we also like to do it is zaru soba with tempura, which is the cold noodles, and then with tempura, so with shrimp and then vegetable tempura. So I just wanted to mix it around to make sure that the noodles don't get all stuck together. So we're just gonna leave that in there to cook away for a little bit. If I can get that off there, let me. Okay, so we're gonna leave that there. I'm gonna pause you and then we're gonna come back and we're gonna make some spam Musubi. Okay, so this is my little cutting board that we're gonna make the spam Musubi on, and I'm gonna do the double duty here. We're gonna make the spam Musubi as I keep an eye on the noodles so the noodles don't get overcooked. So what I have also is to glue the spam Musubi nori, or the dried seaweed, shut. A little bit of water. It's just plain water, nothing else inside. And this is my rice measuring cup. That's all it is. So how I normally do the nori is, so you've got the shiny side, if you can see that, and the non-shiny side. So the shiny side is with what's going to be on the outside, and the non-shiny side is what's going to be on the inside. And I have my rice right here, and my rice paddle, which is in Japanese called shakushi. It's got little nubbies on it. Some of them don't have, mine has them. So because you can buy them with the nubbies on them so that the rice does not get stuck to the paddle. If you have ones that don't have them, make sure you put you rinse it or you run some water over it so that you don't get a whole bunch of rice stuck to your rice paddle. So I always mix my rice up so that it's loosened from the rice pot. And like I said, I cooked about 2.5 cups of rice, and I did wash my hands. They're nice and clean. All right, and then so I went ahead and I asked the kids how much spam, or how many each they're gonna have. So they're each gonna have 2. I'm probably gonna only eat 1. Husband is probably gonna eat 2. So this total of 7 spam Musubi, and so that's, I'm just gonna make a couple just so you guys get an idea. And hold on one second, let me give the noodles a stir. Okay, so, and mind you, it's gonna not look pretty, and I really don't care because it's gonna go down into the belly just the same, and it's gonna taste just as delicious. So I take I don't know, about like a handful of rice, and I put it right in the middle of my nori here, and I squash it down a little bit with my rice paddle. And I try to get it so that it is in the approximate shape of my Spam. And I spread it out evenly the best that I can. And the other thing that I would suggest if you're gonna do it like this is to have your hands slightly damp so that the rice does not stick to your hands. Because otherwise you're gonna end up with like 5 pounds of rice stuck to your hands. So we've got the Spam in the middle of that little pile of rice there, and I'm gonna put just a little bit of rice on top. And yes, the rice is hot. You want to do this when the rice is hot. And then what you do is, you can either side, it doesn't matter. You take one side and you fold it over the top, and then with the water to glue it shut, you get it on your fingers there, run it over the top, and then you get the other side, and there you go. That's it. It tore a little bit, but that's all right. So, and then I just squish it a little bit to make sure that everything is in its place. So, I mean, it doesn't really look all that like fantastic. It looks like kind of like a gray blob, but as you can see, we've got a little bit of rice on the top, rice on the bottom, and the Spam in the center. And we like to have the Spam, I cut the Spam maybe about like a 1/2 inch to 1/4 inch thick, and I fry it till nice and crispy. But that is up to you on how crisp or non-crispy you like your Spam. My husband likes his Spam really crispy. So that is 1 down, and we've got 6 more to go. And I'm gonna pause it, and I'm gonna move the camera over so you can see the noodles, because they are done, and we are going to dump it into my strainer, and you can see what the cooked noodles look like. Okay, so I just dumped my cooked noodles into the strainer, and this strainer I bought from Daiso. I think I spent like $2 or $3 on it, and I really like this strainer because the holes are on the side, so it can double as a strainer and a mixing bowl. My husband hates it because he's like, he has a hard time with the holes on the side, but I love it because it's a dual use thing. Plus it didn't cost me an arm and a leg. So this is how the noodles look, all cooked. If you can see that, let me get the steam to clear out a little bit. Hello there. Okay, so that's the noodles cooked. Now we're gonna rinse the noodles. And I'm going to move this pot back onto the stove. And obviously you're gonna use some cold water. Be careful, it's hot. So we're gonna use my spaghetti spoon and strain as we go. Okay, and we're getting there. Still kind of hot. You want it to be cold. We want that. I mean, that's what Zara Soba is that it is coals. I'm getting all the cold water through all of the noodles. And then what I'm gonna do is, while I am making the other spam musubi, I'm gonna put a couple of ice cubes in between here. So we're gonna go to the freezer and I'm gonna grab a couple of ice cubes. I don't have an ice maker. So, I buried, if you saw that there, the ice cubes with the noodles. So they're gonna sit there like that, chilling away with the noodles. And then we're gonna go back and we're gonna make one more spam musubi. All right. Okay, one more time. So, not shiny side, shiny side. And we've got the rice, which is nice and hot. Like I said, about a handful in the middle, the best that you can, of the nori. And it doesn't need to look pretty. All that matters is that it tastes yummy. And it will taste yummy. Okay, so we're smushing it down. And then we're gonna add a piece of spam. Spam. Right in the middle there. And then I'm gonna add a little bit more rice on top, just a little bit. So this is, you know, like I said, a very like, this is like, I think one of the top favorite meals that my family likes. And it's so simple and easy to make, and it's fairly inexpensive, which is always a plus, especially in times like this. So make sure I got all that sealed shut as the rice is sticking to my hands. And like I said, it doesn't need to look pretty, it just needs to taste good. So, and then there is no specific type of nori that I use, like as far as brand wise. You just need to make sure that it is sushi nori or sushi seaweed. So I'll show you the package that I have. This is the package, and the brand is Shirakiku, and it says roasted seaweed, and it's made in Santa Fe Springs, California, and it's just 10 sheets, and then, you know, it's got instructions on the back on how to make like sushi and all that stuff. Let's see. And it also gives you instructions on also how to make sushi rice. So this, like I said, the rice that is put on my spam musubis are not sushi rice. In other words, there is no seasoning. It's just rice spam, and the nori, and that's it. So I'm gonna pause it, and then I'm going to show you the noodles all done, and I'm gonna dump it back into the pot that it was cooked in. Less dishes for moi. And then essentially, when in a couple of minutes here, when I finish making the rest of the musubis, we are ready to eat. I also wanted to say to those of you who were so generous by hitting that little heart thanks button on my videos now that I'm monetized, thank you very much, and I wanted to give them a shout out. And so I'm not sure how I'm going to do this, but I want to at least do a shout out to the people who have done this, because it does help with postage and any of the giveaways that I'm have planned or planning on doing, lives and all that stuff. So far, the two people who were super generous were Patty Nessing. Thank you, Patty. And thank you, Judy Hawk, for donating by hitting that thanks button on my videos. I really appreciate it. And I am trying to think of a way to do a better job at saying thank you than just a shout out, because I think it deserves a little bit more than that, because you work hard every day, and for you to have chosen this way to spend some of your hard-earned money is very much appreciated. So again, thank you, Patty, and thank you, Judy. I really appreciate it. It means a lot to me. Okay, so this is the finished noodles. And I mean, it's like spaghetti. Only difference is that it's made with buckwheat. And like I said, it's very good for you. I'm gonna leave the ice cubes in it because I'm sure you guys have run into this problem. Like if you leave your noodles sitting out, like you're getting ready to eat, and because unlike Italian pasta, you don't rinse your pasta. You don't rinse your pasta for Italian pasta. Please don't ever do that, because then you're rinsing away all the starch. Anyhow, with soba, you rinse it, and this is what you get. I actually used to work in a fast food Japanese restaurant, and we would rinse it and to get it cold and all of that stuff for colds, and then of course then we would make hot noodles as well. So I'm gonna leave the ice cubes in here so that when it comes time for myself and everybody else to dish the noodles out, the noodles don't stick together. And so a quick tip for soba is to make sure they don't stick, is to hold on to some of the water and then just dump just a little bit on it and then mix it around, and it will unstick all of the noodles so that when you dish it out, they won't be all like clumped together. And then I do that with my Italian pasta, but I use the pasta water. So in other words, I use the water that the pasta was cooked in, and that's what I use to put on top of my pasta if I need to, like to thicken my sauces and stuff like that, because it still has the starches from my Italian pasta. So anyhow, that is dinner tonight: tofu, the soba noodles with the dipping sauce, and the spam musubi. So and all it is, all that will need to be done now is I need to finish making the rest of the spam musubis, and then ringing the dinner bell, and the everybody can dish out what they want, and then I can everybody can take however much of the dipping sauce that they want. I think we have wasabi. You can add wasabi either to your noodles or to the dipping sauce. It's up to you. Or no wasabi. I do no wasabi. I don't like spicy. And that's it. So I hope you enjoyed this segment, and this was fun. This was really fun. I hope you learned a little bit about the fact that Hawaii really likes spam and that we consume the most spam in the United States. And we'll continue to do so despite some of the funny faces that I have gotten when I have eaten spam. Don't knock it until you try it, especially when it's fried. So until the next time, I will talk to you later. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the notification button, and give this video a thumbs up. And if you want me to continue to make videos like this, because my next recipe that I'm going to make is a Japanese style curry, and it's going to be a pork curry. If you'd like to watch me make that, I can do that as well. I have absolutely no problem making that as well for you guys. So yeah, love to hear all of your wonderful comments about how delicious everything looks down below. And don't forget that if you want to reach out to me about any of the recipes that I've shown so far, I can tell you where to find the last one. And if you need help with this particular dish or dishes, I can help you as well. And yeah, and if you want to see more, down below in the comments, because I am happy to continue to do so, because I think that we are more than just yarn, and we are more than just crocheters and knitters. We also do stuff like this, and it's a lot of fun, because this is therapy for me too. So I will talk to you guys later. Bye.